Hello everyone. Today I'm very excited to introduce a game-changing feature we recently developed, that is enhancing the OpenAPI specifications with more human-readable descriptions. This feature leverages the power of generative AI to make API specifications more descriptive, understandable, and accessible to everyone, not just the developers. Well, one of the key challenge that current OpenAI specifications have is the lack of proper summaries, detailed descriptions for the key components. Even looking at the APIs, it's very hard to understand what that API does and what all the information that it requires for anyone to make that API call. Like, whether that API is protected, does it require any authentication, what sort of authentication, or what sort of request body params it requires, or what sort of headers it requires, and what sort of responses it gives out. So all this information is not very understandable, and sometimes it is very hard even for engineers to understand looking at the OpenAPI specifications. But having much more human readable descriptions helps to easily comprehend and understand what the API is doing. So to address this, once we once we looking at the traffic, we generate the OpenAPI specifications on periodic basis. We generate these human descriptions so that they can be easily understand by the all the stakeholders involved with the OpenAPI specification, whether it could be technical or non-technical people. This not only bridges the gap between understanding the specifications, but it also provides a concise and comprehensive summaries for all the various attributes in the APIs. And it also ensures these descriptions can be understandable by both the technical and non-technical users easily. And this not only improves the accessibility of these APIs, but it also saves a lot of time for even for the engineers, because these APIs goes through constant effort of change. So keeping them up to date and keeping track of all these changes and making the changes and keeping the documentation up to date is very tough. So we automate everything. We look at versioning of the APIs, we take the delta, we reapply the learnings, and keep the descriptions up to date. Well, this very much reduces much more back and forth communication between the app teams, and also saves a lot of time. Well, let's look at the descriptions. Before that, this is a OpenAPI specification, that how it is was earlier, very much bare bones. Like, it reads request method, path, what sort of authorization, bearer token, but it's not easy to understand by everyone, right? So this is a new version. We generate summaries and descriptions. This couple of lines makes much more easier for anyone looking at these specification to easily comprehend and understand. Let's look at one of the API. Let us say post by ID. So this couple of lines makes much more sense rather than looking at these particular API path and looking at payload and responses. So this is the new feature that Levo has come up with, and yeah, give us your feedback using use it. Thank you.